very radical. And I wish this particular clip, Honorable Emmerson Mnangagwa can listen to, particularly my own president in this country. I want to give him full authority to take this clip and play it over and over again. Comrade Mnangagwa, we don't want democracy. We want a dictator. Yeah.
Here we are. Welcome and greetings all of you, dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans. It's my hope that you are okay, you are doing well. As you heard from Joshua Maponga, a farmer who thought that Africa right now, we want dictators. We want someone who can dictate how we are going to benefit from our natural resources, how we are going to build our own roads, how we are going to feed ourselves, the way we see things happening in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. Right now, Africans are not happy with what we call Western democracy. Do you agree with Mr. Maponga that Africa right now we need dictators? If you are a politician, I hope this will not be a good message to you, because always politicians want to manipulate people in order for them to acquire power. So, but right now you see young generation want someone who can dictate things the way we see things in Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso. So, lovely family, let us listen again from Mr. Maponga. Then I will come to you to share my thoughts on what we can do as Africans. Welcome.
Are you not embarrassed as a government that you have so much resources and we give you power as government to beneficiate these resources? More than $30. The government must become an active business partner. Botswana is taking over its own diamonds.
Yes, here we are. That is Mr. Joshua Maponga. Others calling him Bishop Joshua Maponga, but all in all is a Pan-Africanist who is always advocating a united Africa. My dear lovely family, as you heard from Mr. Maponga, that this time Africa we need dictators, and of course he sent a clear message to his president, Mr. Emmerson Mnangagwa, the president of Zimbabwe, that we need dictators who can dictate things and things that can happen. Of course, he gave an example of what is happening in Burkina Faso, that Captain Traoré is dictating things on minerals, on agriculture and infrastructures and many other issues. So I think Mr. Maponga is happy with what's happening in Burkina Faso. But all in all, I want to share this, that in Burkina Faso, Traoré is not a dictator. Maybe some people may confuse or sometimes may become confused. Maybe Traoré is a dictator or is a revolutionary. But all in all, what we must understand that Captain Traoré is not a dictator. He is a revolutionary, visionary leader of Burkina Faso. And of course, he's already declared openly that Burkina Faso is not a democratic government or is not a democratic country, is a revolutionary country. So it means Burkina Faso, all things in Burkina Faso are just changing, revolutionary, not democratic, not maybe socially, or it is just revolutionary. We know that maybe we have this democratic and socialism, capitalism, but in Burkina Faso, things are different. Burkina Faso is a revolutionary country. So that's why you see things is happening very rapidly, and you see people are accepting and adapting things very rapidly. Of course, you see young people participating in something called Fasomabo, the thing that initiated by Captain Ibrahim Traoré to make sure that young people and other people are participating in building their nations' infrastructures. So that's why I'm saying that Burkina Faso is not a democratic country, it's not maybe socialism country, is a revolutionary country. So this is the new governance introduced by the young leader of Burkina Faso. Let us go back to the issue of Joshua Maponga, the issue that Maponga has addressed. Of course, I agree with Maponga that the time has come for Africa to see how we can benefit from our natural resources. We have been told as Africans, African governments, that we don't need to do business. Let us leave business to private entities, private organizations. But if you look in the continent of Africa, do we have private entities that can operate in our uranium, that can operate in our diamond, in our lithium? Do we have those entities? If you look very keenly, you will understand that we don't have those entities. So why these Western power are telling Africans, especially these democratic countries, that you are not supposed to do businesses. You are a government. You have to provide services. You have to collect revenues from private entities. But what's wrong if we Africans, especially these democratic countries, are going to create their own companies that can operate in their minerals, in their natural resources? Is it wrong? Is it a sin? I think it is not a sin and it is not wrong. So we need, as Africans, to start thinking that even these democratic countries or African countries can start having their own entities that can operate in mining, can operate in agriculture. Because right now, in the continent of Africa, we have been fed by Chinese, we have been fed by Europeans. Africans, we own nothing. As you heard from Mr. Maponga, yes, we say we are collecting revenues or we are getting share from what these Western companies, Eastern companies are getting. If you have maybe diamond, you have gold, maybe you get 16% of revenue. But what's wrong for Africa to get 100%? Is it a sin? Is it wrong things? We are violating maybe the rule? No. Why Africans are not ready to make sure that we Africans, we are operating in mining? I think, as Mr. Maponga said, the time is now for Africa and African government to start creating their own entities that can operate in their natural resources. If Chinese want our gold, it's the national or government that are supposed to sell gold to Chinese companies. So Chinese companies have to buy from us, not we Africans to allow Chinese to come and mine, and then Chinese to give us a certain share, maybe 16, 10% or 5%, while the rest are going to the Chinese. And if you look many of our contracts, you find that African nation, despite they are the owners of these minerals, but they are not beneficiaries of these minerals. And that's what I think Mr. Maponga has said, that we can benefit from our uranium, we can benefit from our lithium, our gold, our coltan. So I think we need these universities to start manufacturing goods or equipment. Of course, Maponga has given an example of mobile phones, that how is it possible that we have lithium, we have coltan, cobalt, and we are not producing our own mobile phones? The small thing we cannot produce. If the Chinese are using the same resources, Europeans are using the same resources to produce mobile phones, what's wrong for Africans? It's now 60 years after independence. We are still depending on others. I think if we want to develop our continent and our countries, I think we need to start thinking on how we as Africans, we can become beneficiaries of our natural resources, how we can start producing our own goods. Africans, universities, they must now thinking on how they can teach their students, their people, on how they can start adding value to their natural resources, manufacturing goods. We have tins, we have chrome, we have everything. But if you look what we produce and what we teach in schools are total difference. So I think Maponga went far by saying that these universities are producing fools. You may see that this is just an insult, but it's the reality. many of our graduates looks like fools, because after finishing their studies, their universities, they looks like they are not educated. They come back on the streets, they move with this brown envelope asking for jobs. I think we need to move out of job seekers to be the job creators. And if we can think in that ways, I hope African people can be the job creators. Right now, if you look at the population of Africa, you find that majority are young people. I have been saying this many times. If we don't have opportunity to accommodate these young men and women will become threat to their governments, because these young men and women, they need their things. They have to learn their lives. So if they don't have opportunities to get their special needs, they become threat. They will call for revolution. They will try to sometimes supporting coup, and someone who will come with small amount of money and drugs and give them, they will go against their governments. And that's why we will see destabilization in the continent of Africa. So we need to create opportunities for these young men and women who are coming out from schools, who are coming from universities, to make sure that after finishing their study, they are going to create jobs themselves, not waiting for someone or for government to give them jobs. Africans, we have been, of course, designed to think that we need white people, we need Europeans, we need Chinese, we need Russians to come and invest in our natural resources so that we Africans, we can get jobs. Why don't we Africans invest in our own resources so that we can create a job ourselves? I have seen some presidents talking about that they have got jobs in abroad, telling me what kind of jobs we are going to get in Europe. Normally it is gardeners. So do we think young Africans, they want to become gardeners? They want to wash old men and women in Europe? No. Africans want to add value to their natural resources. Africans want to create their own mobile phones. Africans want to create their own cars. And one good thing that Maponga has spoken very well, that right now in Burkina Faso, you see Captain Ibrahim Traoré has inspired young people in Burkina Faso. Right now they are producing their own airplane. Burkina Faso is producing and manufacturing their own armored vehicles, electric cars, drones. That is what young people in the continent of Africa, they want. So, my dear lovely family, friends, fellow Africans, I think Maponga has spoken very well, and this is a time for Africa to wake up. That was a wake-up call. Maybe those who are in political classes will not be happy with what Maponga has said, that Maponga is talking about dictatorship. In Africa, these political people or politicians, they want always to lie on us. They want to become leaders. They try to do everything. When they find someone like Maponga who is opposing them, they see him as a threat. So I hope our politicians are not happy with Mr. Maponga. And this democratic environment were created by Europeans so that they can instill someone who they want, they can support by giving them money and lobbying, something like that. And that's why sometimes when African countries are running elections, you find that we have these observers, European observers, American observers, Russian observers. You may ask, what are they observing? They want to know who will become the president. Maybe it's the one who is in their interest, or is someone long. And from there, they can understand what they can do. But all in all, my dear lovely family, Africans are not happy with democratic governance. Africans want someone who can dictate and say, we want road, and road is going to be constructed. We want dams, and dams are going to be constructed. That's what Africans, they want. They want someone who can say, we are going to mine our minerals, and Africans are going on field to make sure that they're mining. We want someone who can say, I'm going to add value to our natural resources, and value are being added. That's what Africans right now they wish to have that kind of leader. That's why you see they're happy with Captain Traoré, they're happy with Assimi Goïta, they're happy with Abdulrahman Chan. Not because they are soldiers, it's because they want someone who can dictate things and things happening on the ground. So up to that, my dear lovely family, let us not speak for too long. It's my hope that you get the point what the Africans, especially young people, they want from our leaders. So our leaders, this is a wake-up call. And of course, I've been saying this, our leaders, if they don't change by the year 2050, many of these leaders, political leaders, they will find themselves in difficult situation, because right now they want someone who is young people. They want someone who have energy, who is giving them energy. The same we see in Burkina Faso. That's why the entire continent of Africa, even the diaspora, are happy with our beloved leader, Captain Ibrahim Traoré. After that, I have no more to share with you at this time. Let me say thank you. Have a nice time. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Africa, Mama Africa. Oh, yeah. You make African great. Thank you, Africa. Thank you, Africa.